Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Lavonne here. We've got a bit of a fun video today. I thought I would do a cheeky get to know me tag or get to know me tag for those of you that may already know me or have known me in the past. Obviously, as we've talked about before on this channel, I started this channel when I was 19. Now I'm 25. So a lot has happened since then. My preferences for things have changed. My thoughts about certain things have changed. And I just thought it would be fun to do a little get to know me. This will be particularly fun, I think, for people who subscribed to me 6 years ago and are getting to know me now. I think it's going to be so interesting to see how much I've grown. And for people that may know me now but may not know certain things about me, or people that knew me growing up and may not know what I'm like now, it's a video for everyone basically to just get to know me. And it's a bit of fun, it's a bit lighthearted, and I've picked out a few questions, not too many, to keep it short and sweet. And yeah, if you have any other things that you would love to know, please let me know in the comments down below. I respond to all my comments and I do take feedback, consideration, suggestions to heart. Not to heart, but like, I bear it in mind is what I'm trying to say. If you see me looking down, please don't be alarmed. I had to write my questions down on paper. Let's get started. We'll start off a bit light, some may be deep, some may be funny, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, first question is, where did you grow up? I grew up in the beautiful land of Zimbabwe. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, I grew up in Zim until the age of about 11. Actually, I moved to the UK when I was 11, the start of secondary school, which weirdly enough in Zim is the end of secondary school. So I left being like one of the oldest kids in school and got to my secondary school here being like the youngest kid in school, which was so bizarre and such a culture shock at the time. I came in a year that it snowed, it was the winter, it was just such a shock. But I was so happy because I was reuniting with my mom, reunited with my brother. It was like a whole family thing, but it was still quite a lot. Like at that age, sometimes I think back and I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. But yeah, I grew up in Zimbabwe and I absolutely loved my childhood in Zim. I loved school. I loved my family. I grew up with my auntie, my grandma, and my cousins. And I just remember being so carefree and just enjoying every moment to the fullest. And it was just such a beautiful place to grow up. Obviously, I was a child, so I may not have been aware of some of the difficulties financially, economically, socially, politically, and stuff like that. But from what I remember, I went to boarding school when I was like 9 and it was just fun. I had so much fun when I was growing up, and I love that aspect of my story that I got to experience a different life before entering into my teenage years, because I think it really grounded me actually as well. By the time I moved here, I think there's a lot of things that I had experienced by that age that a lot of kids here hadn't. So I think it really helped me a lot, place a lot of value on things like education, food and shelter and stuff like that. So story short, I grew up in Zim. How do you like spending your birthday? This is a good question. Where there's food involved, count me there. I love having some good food, having some time to myself, just getting to have like a nice self-care morning, like a nice slow morning, spending time with the people that I love, whether that's my husband, my friends, my siblings, my family, getting a chance to reflect as well. I love to reflect on my birthday. It's like my new year. I get to reflect on the year that has passed, set some goals for myself for the new year, spend time with God, spend time praying over the year, repenting over things that I feel like I could have done better, and just committing the new year, quote unquote, to the Lord. So basically food, fellowship, time with the Lord, time with myself, and just anything fun. I love just doing fun things on my birthday. And this year, I really want to try and actually celebrate my birthday. I don't always celebrate my birthday, and I haven't done it in a while. I think the last time I celebrated my birthday was when I was 22. 21 and 22, I really celebrated my birthday those years. But other than that, I rarely like do something like super big, so I'm gonna try and do something this year. When I turned 25, I couldn't really do anything big because I was only like a month postpartum, but next year or this year when I turn 26, I'm gonna try and do something a bit bigger and just celebrate life because I love birthdays. Most memorable vacation so far. I don't go on a lot of vacations or holidays, I'll be very honest. I think I've only ever been on like, okay, internationally, I've only ever been on like 2, and they were both mission-based trips. Nationally, I've been on like a couple with like family and stuff, and some mission-based as well. The one that comes to mind is I took a trip, which was a mission trip actually, a couple of years ago now, and we went to South Africa. Woohoo! Which, you know, homeland. I was born in South Africa actually, fun fact. But anyway, we went to South Africa and it was a mission trip because we were going on mission, but I was able to take a detour and go see my dad because my dad lived in South Africa and I'd not seen him since I was like 10. So I got to see my dad, see my auntie, my cousins, my uncles, and that was like a really nice surprise for them and for me to get to reconnect with my family in that way. It was very emotional as well, and unfortunately later on in that year he ended up passing away, but I always hold that memory so dear because I'm so glad I got to see him. Oh gosh, this is getting deep. I'm so glad I got to see him before he passed, and he got to meet my now husband. He was my fiance at the time. He got to meet my husband, got to meet some of my friends, my church family, and it was so special, and it was so warm and just full of love and laughter and joy, and I will always remember that. And just that holiday, or that mission trip in general, it was a big trip with my church, and like we were all together. It was so special, but it was extra special that I got to see my dad, so that was nice. Bit emotional but very cute. Okay, let's tone it down a little bit with the emotion and do something a bit more fun. Favorite food or drink? Right, if you know me, you know I love food. V, I know you're gonna like this part, but I love food. I honestly don't even think I have a favorite food. My husband always laughs at me because he's always like, anytime we eat something, I always say to him, oh, this is the best thing I've ever had, or like, this is my favorite meal. However, if I were to think from the top of my head, a meal that I really love and I could have again and again, pasta of any kind. Pasta with chicken, pasta with mince, pasta with prawns, pasta with salmon, pasta with a cheeky green salad, some corn on the cob, garlic bread, lasagna, because that was technically pasta with the same components. I could honestly have that meal every single day. I love pasta so much. Wow, I think genuinely that is my favorite food. But then again, I love like potatoes. Oh my gosh, yeah, I love potatoes. I love roast potatoes. I love a jacket potato. I love mashed potatoes. I love fries. I love chips. Whoa, they're so versatile. I love things that are versatile. So pasta or potatoes, either way, I love that. Drinks wise, I'm gonna say what I've been loving lately. Lately, I've been loving a Coke Zero. Oh my goodness, I don't know what it is about a Coke Zero. I think they started when I was pregnant. Like, a crisp Coke was just the highlight of my day. But I had to tone it down a little bit postpartum because I could literally have a Coke every day, and I was like, let's try Coke Zero and be a bit healthier. I love apple juice. I love a decaf latte at the moment, or a decaf coffee. I make mine with like a bit of milk. Sometimes I put whipped cream on top with brown sugar. Next question. What do you like about yourself? Oh, this is a deep one. Very introspective. I love how much I love people. I really love people, and I love with my whole heart. I don't hold back when I give to those that I love. I love you with everything that I have. I really struggled with this trait of myself growing up because I felt like a lot of times it was misunderstood. Like, people thought I was just being too much, or like, it can't be real. But no, genuinely, like, I really love with my whole heart. Sometimes that has been taken advantage of, I must say, but I've never regretted loving someone fully, even if it wasn't held with the same care. I always think to myself, God has given me this big heart for a reason. I can't just half it for the convenience of others, or the convenience of potentially not getting my feelings hurt at times. Who or what has left a strong impression on you? I've met so many people in my life that have left really strong impressions on me, but what What came to mind when I read this question first was one of my friends, and they probably will know who they are from how I'm going to describe this. I remember when we first became friends, it was such a random friendship, very organic as well. Spent a lot of time together, and I realized about them that they were such a giver, and they didn't hold back. If I said to them like, oh, I really like this, the next day it would be like at my door, which was wild to me because I'd never been around that kind of free giving, if that makes sense. And genuinely, she gives without an expectation. And I noticed that about her throughout a lot of our relationships, not just with me but with others as well. Like, she's such a giver, and it really challenged me with my giving because I thought I was a giver, but I met her and I was like, wow, you really give. And it's not just material as well. Like, she gives up her heart, she gives up her time, everything that she knows she will share with others, and she doesn't hold back. And that really left an impression on me because it challenged me to be better as a friend and to be better with my heart of giving, to just give more unrestrained. And once I started living like that, me and her always laugh because anytime we're out together, we're literally fighting over who's paying for the bill. But I love that within our friendship because it's like we're always one-upping each other in love. And it reminds me of a scripture. I'll try and find it and put a little screenshot of it, but for lack of better words, it's basically like try and compete with one another in terms of how much you can love with one another. And she really lives like that in her life and has been consistent in it as well. And that's really left a lasting impression on me and on how I now navigate giving and my friendships as well. This links very well to the next question actually, which says, what qualities do you look for in a friend or in people in general? I love people that are vulnerable, which I know is not always easy. But the reason why I love this in people is because I'm very vulnerable and I will be very honest and I'll be very transparent, and I share a lot of myself with the people that I am friends with. And so it's a quality that I search for as well. Like, if I pour out my heart to you, but the best I can get from you is like, oh, when I was 6, I stole a sweet from the shop, it's very, very hard for me to continue being vulnerable, if that makes sense, which I really look for that. I love a vulnerable, open, honest friendship. People that share their heart and don't let their feelings linger. People that are forgiving, because as humans we always make mistakes. So forgiveness is a very good quality that I look for in a friendship or in a relationship. This will link to my husband as well because we're married now, but these are the types of things I was looking for in him as well. Someone who loves other people. Oh my goodness, I remember when I was dating my now husband, one of the things I love and I still love about him is how kind he is to other people. And that's a quality that I really value in someone. If you're nice to me but you're mean to others, I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, I like mine mean. No, I love a kind man. I love a kind woman. I love a kind person because I love people so much. Like I said in my other question, that it doesn't make sense to me to be friends with someone or in a relationship with someone who is nasty to others. What? No. So I love people that are kind and love other people. Someone who loves the Lord. Listen, because I love the Lord. And I talk about him all the time. And my whole life really does revolve around him. So it does help when you also love the Lord, because you're not going to be bored of me, you know? Someone who's not afraid to just be themselves, even if they are misunderstood, even if they don't necessarily fit a certain mold. Someone who's just authentically themselves and they have fun and they're free and they enjoy life. They're not just uptight, you know? I love that in a friend or in my husband. And all these qualities, these are all qualities of my husband and a lot of my really good friends as well. So I love y'all. If you could advise your 10-year-old self, what would you say? This is a great question. I really like this question. First thing I would say is, do not lose your childlike wonder. I think back to my 10-year-old self, and I think there is a level of wonder and intrigue that I had that as I grew older I exhibited less and less, and I really wish I'd held on to that childlike wonder, that childlike whimsy, and just having fun in life and just not taking things too seriously. Don't try and grow up too quickly. I think I tried to grow up too quickly with, you know, pursuing relationships too early, getting into certain things like makeup too early, just trying to be older than I was. I wish I just hadn't. I wish I'd just enjoyed being a little kid and being a teenager and just being, just being me. Careful with your associations. Choose your friends wisely. Choose the people you surround yourself with wisely. Honestly, I would advise her to just leave boys alone until you're like 18. Because why, baby, why? Obviously, I met my now husband when I was 18, so 18 is a good age to start considering that, because I think at that age as well I was a bit more mature to be wiser in my decisions. Yeah, when I was 17, not wise. 16, not wise. 18, a bit wiser, but I still was growing in wisdom. And I would also say, hold on to the Lord. There's certain things that will happen in life that will try and shake your faith, but hold on to him. He's been faithful and he's been consistent my whole life. And I would tell my younger self that, because I think young Lavonne was so, that childlike faith. And I think, to just remind her, like, keep that, hold on to that. Don't let your light be dimmed. Don't let anyone discourage you. Last thing I would say is, like, chase after your dreams. Whatever you want to do, fully commit yourself to it and do it. Like, even what I'm doing now with YouTube and stuff, I've been wanting to film since I was much younger, right? Much earlier. If I go through a lot of my stuff, like my phones, I've got content from years back where I was like, hi guys. And I wish I'd pursued this earlier, because it's something I've always wanted to do, something I love to do. I love to talk. I love to share information. I love to connect with others. I just didn't apply myself to it when I was younger, and I wish I had. Even with school, there's certain things I wanted to pursue career-wise and education-wise that I could have done if I applied myself a little bit more, So I would say, if you have dreams, chase after them, go after them wholeheartedly. Don't hold back, girl. You can do anything through Christ who strengthens you. That was a lot of long-winded advice. Let's try and speed through some of these, okay? What is your current favorite song? At the End of My Days. I love this song. I think I've talked about this in like 4 videos now. I'll put a screenshot here, but it talks about, at the end of my days, Lord, find me faithful, find me grateful, find me thankful. And it's just a song about gratitude and just rewiring the posture of your heart towards being more grateful. I love that song so much. If I had a superpower, what would it be? Me and my husband always talk about this because we love a superhero show. Like recently we were watching The Flash, and so we always talk about this, like, what would your superpower be? I used to say like I would want to read people's minds, but I think that was from a place of not knowing where I stood with a lot of people in my life. And I think that was an answer from trauma, for lack of better words. And now I don't think I would want that, because, sometimes you just think a certain thought, but you don't really mean it. And I think if I heard everyone's every thought about me, gosh, I'm too emotional. I'd be so heartbroken. And I don't think I want that. So instead, I think I would love to like fly or something. Like fly will be super fast. Super fast would be good. I could get so much done in a day. Super speed would be very good, but I don't know if that is an influence. I'm being influenced by The Flash, but that would be so fun. This is the last question. Oh, that's gone by so quick. I'm sure you guys are watching like, girl, no, it hasn't. What's the best advice I've ever received? If you've got a bruised apple, do you throw away the whole apple, or do you just cut around the bruise? And this applies to so many areas of life. It can apply to your relationships with others. It can apply to your career. It can apply to your job. It can apply to yourself, how you see yourself, how you treat yourself. It can apply to your relationship with the Lord, how the Lord sees us. It can apply to your relationship with your children, your siblings. Honestly, it applies to so many things. The context in which I got it was, there was a relationship in my life that was really, really struggling, and I was just ready to just throw in the towel. And the advice that I got given was, when you've got an apple and it's got a bruise, you cut out the bruise, but you don't throw away the whole apple. So don't take just one piece of a puzzle and paint a whole picture and decide that, oh yeah, no, I can't be friends with this person because they did this, or I can't be in this relationship because of that, or I can't pursue this career because of this, or I can't go back to uni because of this, right? Granted, I'm not saying stay in toxic environments in that name, no, but I'm saying not everything needs to be given up on so quickly. Some things take time, some things you need to build, and some things you just have to persevere a little bit. So don't let a single bruise or tiny bruise on an apple cause you to throw away the whole fruit. Look at the bigger picture, have some perspective. And this links to something I was talking about in my lessons I've learned in 2025 video, which was what you focus on matters. If you see an apple and it's got a little bruise and you look at that bruise, that's all you're going to see. But if you look at the whole apple, you can see that the rest of the apple is fresh. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can actually enjoy the fruit. You don't have to just focus on the bruised part of the apple. And with that, I will close off this video before it gets too long. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little get to know me tag, and I hope you know a little bit more about me. Again, if you have any more questions, please leave them down below. And actually, the last question that we just had, let me know in the comments down below, what is the best piece of advice you have received that you can share with our community? Hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what kind of videos you would love to see. More of this, more of that. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, bye, bye.